But earthquakes aren't the only threat to the city. Looming on the edge of Rome, the Albano volcano has been quiet for over 20,000 years. Its crater is now covered by a lake. In the summer, thousands of Romans flock here. Even the Pope has a villa high up on the crater rim. But the peace at Lake Albano is deceptive. Guido Giordano and a team of chemists have come to take samples from the crater lake, the deepest in Europe.
This is going down to 150 meters, which is about 20 meters above the bottom. By filling different bottles, we will eventually have bottles that represent a continuous profile of water. This bottle will be analyzed, and we will know the exact concentration of carbon dioxide.
Lake Albano shows an unusually high concentration of carbon dioxide deep down near the bottom. This could turn the lake into a killer. Guido has found a worrying account in an ancient text from 396 BC.
The Roman historians tells us about the sudden rise and overflow of the water, which partly destroyed Rome. So a major event. We've made some numerical simulation, and probably we are talking of a volume of water in excess of 500,000 cubic meters.
The ancient Romans couldn't explain the cause of the flood, but Guido thinks he's found the culprit. The source of all the trouble lies buried 6 kilometers under the lake. The chamber of the ancient volcano is still active and pushes carbon dioxide up through the rocks. The gas dissolves in the high-pressure water at the bottom of the lake until it's bursting with CO2. Any disturbance in the water can release clouds of gas bubbles. As they rise, they grow into an avalanche of expanding carbon dioxide. This triggers a gas eruption that can push water over the crater rim and cause a flood. A killer lake on the doorstep of Rome would be bad news. Can the city's engineers stop Lake Albano from erupting again? If Lake Albano were to cause another flood like it did nearly 2,500 years ago, Rome would get hit by millions of liters of water. But luckily for the city, the ancient Romans have already solved this problem.
The Romans were worried of this happening again, and they got their architects and engineer to devise something to solve the problem, and the answer is in there.
The Romans dug a drainage tunnel into the crater wall to stop the lake from overflowing.
Wow, isn't it fantastic? The workers at the time used just hammer and picks, and you can see some of the marks on the rock walls. Just the idea of digging such a tunnel is quite amazing for the time. Here we're talking about 2,400 years ago. We have to think that they didn't have any compass at the time, and they needed to dig an entire 1.5 kilometers long tunnel by maintaining exactly the direction they wanted.
The Romans used the sun to keep their bearings, even underground. The plan was to dig a tunnel into the hill just above the lake. To save time, they would tunnel from both ends, so they had to meet in the middle. To stay on track, they first excavated a curved tunnel that gave workers access to the site, but focused light from the sun into a thin line. As long as the workers kept this line in the middle of the tunnel face, they knew they were digging straight and would eventually meet in the middle. It was a monumental effort.
This tunnel runs for 1.5 kilometers. So it's a huge, it's a massive, it would be difficult in modern time. The way they achieved this was through a huge workforce available. Historians talk about 30,000 people involved because they really wanted to prevent further threats to Rome. This tunnel is actually active, as you can see by the water present. This has protected Rome from any further major flood from Lake Albano since the 4th century before Christ.